Breaking in first under Biden, Egypt to receive full military aid tied to human rights.
But they bought a bunch of Chinese planes. They're buying some J-10s, and they think they're going to buy China's other stealth aircraft, the FC-31/J-31.
I like that.
Very cool plane.
They were withholding a portion of Egypt's military assistance over the continued human rights abuses.
Oh.
But now that they're like, I assume, full blown behind Israel, even more than they were before, then now they're like, oh, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can have it all now.
I think part of it...
It's the secret trick. If you're a human rights violator and in a dictatorship in a client state, just say, I love Israel and I will do anything for Israel. And then the cheat code is America forgets about all of your human rights abuses.
They're buying these J-10s, but America is we're giving them the financing to do it. We're giving them some pretty good terms on like a $10 billion loan. And I don't know, there's this guy I found on Twitter who's like an Egyptian defense policy specialist. He says there's like an option in there to buy some stealth aircraft from China. The J-10's a good plane. That thing's cool. It's very fun in War Thunder. The J-31.
Oh, Chris Murphy came out. My favorite.
Yeah, the hero of the Senate.
Yeah, it's no secret. We did a soft coup. We tried to do a soft coup in Venezuela, and this the orange
fucked it up.
Yeah, orange Mussolini fucked it up. I'll never
hate Chris Murphy.
Yeah, what an insane thing to openly, publicly write.
Oh my god.
We have like our what is it, like anxiety riddled
millennials with imposter syndrome.
Millennials with imposter syndrome. It's no secret that Egypt remains a deeply repressive, autocratic state, and I see no good reason to ignore that fact by waiving these requirements. Has he said that about Israel? What has he said about Israel? I want to see what Chris Murphy said. He must have been hitting the fucking liberal Zionism.
I would guess that he's like we need an investigation guy, but we remain firmly committed.
Murphy presses Blinken on the importance of a Palestinian state.
Yeah, a two-state solution. What a hero.
Murphy presses Blinken on the importance of a Palestinian state as a part of a potential Israeli-Saudi normalization agreement.
That's happening too.
He's like, are we giving Saudis nukes? Well, then, we have to give Palestine at least a moment to have a conversation.
We need a Palestinian Bantustan that will have no military and be constantly bombed by the IOF
also,
Air Forces.
This way Saudi Arabia can have nukes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, these guys are doing great work around the clock, man. We definitely have a phenomenal.
How can Trump not beat that? Like, just gesture to the Blinken State Department. Look at the world.
Yeah. Well,
what a idiot. He's so stupid.
Well, I think it's because he's like, he got $100 million from Miriam Adelson and is like,
obviously,
probably very excited to, do a permanent annexation of the West Bank or whatever the they want to do. But
I don't even, I'm not even saying that he has to be coherent policy wise. I'm saying just to make that a sticking point, the failures of the Biden State Department, but he can't do it because he's so fucking stupid. Oh yeah, this is the guy.
What is it? In a first with the Biden admin, the U.S. will provide Egypt with a full amount of military assistance. Everyone, U.S. will totally cut aid to Egypt due to its tensions with Israel and buying Chinese Russian weapons. U.S. let's pay Egypt and offer F-15EX, F-16V ASAP.
Yeah.
So what? First of all, anyone that says they're going to cut ties to Egypt due to tensions with Israel is insane. It's like thinking Erdogan is actually going to fucking put NATO forces and invade Tel Aviv. You're living on a different planet.
It's even more delusional than that.
It's like thinking Jordan is going to invade Israel. Okay.
Yeah. You would have to be the most insane Zionist to even pretend to believe that for a second.
Yeah. These are... anyone that thinks any of these other American regional partners or client states that are propped up by Western money or literally have direct leadership that was planted there by the West, whether it be fucking, British Empire cutouts or directly the American State Department, anyone that thinks that any of these states actually carry an ounce of resentment towards Israel is the most delusional person who just simply does not understand foreign policy at all. Egypt would not exist without the endless money faucet that we give Egypt. Egypt would probably be in a much better situation overall, most likely if they were to get maybe some more Chinese money. I don't know. I'm not talking on that, but currently as it stands, we give them a shitload of money. America gives a shitload of money to Egypt. I think even, well, not this past year, but not since Israel needed additional funds to do genocide. But, in the past years, Egypt has gotten more money than Israel has.
They are, I think, in many years, they were the top recipient of military aid altogether.
Which is why it was crazy when Bob Menendez got popped for that shit. It's just this is why I always say it's just paperwork.
Yeah.
The fact that these guys are getting the fact that these guys are getting popped. I mean, fuck Bob Menendez, by the way, he's a giant piece. The fact that these guys were getting hit because they are collaborating with allies, with aligned nations that are getting that are in the sphere of influence. But then nobody talks about Israel is so funny.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it because they don't have an American Egypt pack? Is that what it is?
The only counter argument I've seen to that is for people to just outright say that it's Jew hatred to compare any of these countries, any of these instances of outright corruption or foreign lobbying or unregistered foreign lobbying in the case of Russia to Israel.
Yeah.
Just, sight unseen, it is all just pure Jew hatred.
Yeah, that's what it is. Israel is literally the vector of fascism around the world. Egypt's economy has been taking a major hit from the Houthis attacking, lost massive revenue from Suez Canal tolls. The U.S. Navy has basically been defeated and can't open the sea. Do you guys remember that the former Obama advisor Stuart Seldowitz was threatening the street food vendors when sending them to get tortured in Egypt? Yeah. That's true. Yeah, what happened to that guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have our black sites in Egypt as well for torture. And so there's that too. But overall, like I said, I mean, the Israeli economy is fucking caving. Israelis are escaping the country.
They can no longer provide guaranteed air security over Tel Aviv, which is a massive development.
Yeah. And America is on a fucking double suicide pact no matter what.
Yeah.
They're just roll dogs. You could have 99% of American voters be like, I need you to stop giving unlimited funds to Israel, and they'd be like, we can't do that. It's just not going to happen.
We are committed to going down with the ship, and it is going down.
Yeah.
How many people it takes with it on its way, we don't know yet, but we know it's a lot.
Let me ask you this. All right, last question for you. How much do you think that America's undying loyalty is fear of defense contractors getting upset / how much of it is a genuine ideological project that they're committed to? They just genuinely are rabid zealots.
I think it is. Well, okay, you have to kind of rewind the clock for a large part of modern American history. Israel was, just another sort of U.S. client state that its existence and the organization of its state security apparatus benefited American defense contractors and people who get paid just from the cash flow and runoff of those things. How it was treated in the media, how politicians saw it, generally along those lines. After Bush 1 really is when you start seeing the incredible penetration of the Israeli lobby. There's always been an Israel lobby, and it's always been pretty well organized and well financed. But
even back at JFK,
right? Yeah, you didn't really see every American politician saying these insane fucking things really until after Bush 1. And I think at this point it really just is it's a combination of an already existing imperial ideology with whatever this iteration, this form of Zionism is.
But there is an argument that I know you also can make about cutting ties, or at the very least restraining Israel for Israel's own benefit from the perspective of American dominance continuing.
Yeah. I mean,
which is why I don't understand why they don't even take the off ramp of liberal Zionism and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go back to pre-October 7 basically.
Well, because in part, you know how they're not making any more Brit Humes in the Republican Party. They're not making any more. I don't know who a good comp would be, but I don't know, Jim Wrights in the Democratic Party. There are no longer any real, like, there are people who like fit the role or look the part of like a sober administrator of empire, but there is such a thing as like crackpot realism as it exists on the Democratic Party side. It may not be as like loud or bombastic or outwardly ridiculous as the MAGA stuff, but they are just as big zealots for both the empire and for Zionism, and just as deluded and just as removed from reality. And on neither side are there any, sober administrators of the empire. There are no more HWs, so to speak. These are like complete, like rabid ideologues.
Yeah, that's because from a competent leadership perspective, they should have made that phone call like months ago. They should have been like, what the fuck are you doing?
What do you think HW does in this situation?
Yeah. They should have been like, dog, you're fucking up the bag for yourself. Like, we do not have an endless money supply.
Brent Scowcroft or any of those guys from like the pre-Clinton State Departments, they would have gone, this is on this current path, this is going to end. It may not end this year, next year, or within this decade. But this current path is fucking unsustainable. We have to do something. Everyone from Blinken on down to Biden to Harris, for that matter, are insane and completely disconnected from reality. We don't, usually depict them as such because, it's not as ridiculous as like Trump going out there and saying like, oh, they're eating fucking cats or like whatever. But it's the same type of delusion, and it's sort of a marker of where we are at as an imperial project, that there's not even any more sober administrators. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I mean, we keep repeatedly banging the war drums and conducting more military exercises like in the like surrounding region of China. And now China is also responding in kind by doing military exercises with Russia in in and around like Alaska. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's too much at stake with a global war with China. I feel like that's not going to happen. One, because I feel like they're much more sober in their approach to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And much more restrained, like insanely restrained in comparison to any other country, and that even includes Russia as well.
Yeah.
Obviously. But and beyond that, we're a massive trade partner. Like, this is not like we did not have the same level of trade relations with the USSR at all, if any at all, as a matter of fact, in comparison to China. That would like make the Cold War.
There was some trade relations there, not zero, but like it is incomparable to what we have with China. Yeah, it is. Yeah, incomparable. I think like the biggest threat for that happening is that there may be a current on the American side that like they believe, paraphrasing here, but basically that like we could probably beat this iteration of the PLA, but not the iteration that will exist in 10 years. That's what I fear they think. And they think it's going to happen no matter what. We might as well do it when we like feel like we know we're going to win. That is the thing I'm like most afraid of with that.
Wait, say that again. With what?
With how and when and like the reasoning for like a confrontation with China.
Oh yeah. I just don't know. Yeah. I mean, I mean, there's another part of this equation with like respect to Iran. I feel like both Iran and Hezbollah and Lebanon have been significantly more, I mean, I wouldn't even say restrained at this point. Like it goes beyond that. I would say like they've been limited for one reason or another in comparison to like the Houthis that have been just going crazy. And I don't know. I mean, they said that they were going to retaliate for the assassination, and they seemingly are not doing that at all.
I've seen people say, and I don't necessarily share this, but I mean, I don't want to ever get in a position where I'm Monday morning quarterbacking this for anybody. But I've seen like complaints among some people I know, both in the Middle East and like who have families there, who have complained that like they felt that Hezbollah didn't do nearly enough. And it's like emboldened. It's emboldened the West because I don't know if you saw, but there are like Rafales, like the French fighter jets. Those are now flying over Beirut, and they feel that like by Hezbollah not providing enough of a response, it made like France and the West in general think, well, okay, if they're not gonna fucking do anything, then it's a party. It's 2004 again.
Yeah,
we can go crazy. I don't necessarily want to say that's the case or not, because like, what is the counterfactual to that? what if, they did do that and this still I don't really know. And I don't want to, from while playing War Thunder in like Glendale, telling Hezbollah what to do, because who fucking knows, right?
You don't want to be the Redditors for Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. And no, I mean, it does seem that it is beyond restraint though. That's what it seems like right now, certainly.
Yeah, I think so too. But who knows? Who knows what
the future holds?
Who knows what the future holds? Yes. Hagari said yesterday that Hamas is crushed and they will move forces to the northern border. I think they're ready for October surprise. Yeah, I've been saying that like Benjamin Netanyahu is going to like try to move in a direction that favors Trump, but I don't even think he can help him at this point.
Yeah.
Like Trump is so cooked.
I play DCS also, responding to somebody in chat.
Oh.
I'm just frustrated with the current state of DCS. They broke a lot of my favorite mods.
Do you think the State Department is selling lesser evil retaliation withholding to Iran? No.
There's no fucking way.
No. Also, a war with Iran, like a hot war with Iran, would destroy would cause irreparable harm to the global economy because they would just attack the Saudi oil refineries and shit. So I think that there's that. Like, ultimately, that would. Can you? Yeah, he was just blowing smoke. Do you think Trump will be held responsible for violating the Leahy Act? What do you mean?
The Leahy Act? Come on. You can't be a grown-ass adult and think someone's going to get prosecuted for the Leahy Act. No, they're not.
No, that's the thing that you do for complementarity. Not that it matters for the United States of America, but like to at least have the responsible government, like to present yourself as like a nation of rules and laws.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you only use that against like people that you hate.
The entire point of the Leahy Act is to pass it and say you have it, not to use it.
Yeah, it's the other side of the invasion of the Hague Act. Like, you get that on the peaceful dove side, and then on the right side, on the Republican side, you get we're gonna invade the fucking Hague if you try to hold a war criminal that is of Israeli origin accountable for their crimes.
But then if you're a Democrat, you get to say things like there must be accountability.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the world, just general accountability.
Yeah, I think you weren't talking about Leahy. I think you were talking about the Logan Act, which, again,
Well, there's also a Leahy Act as it concerns foreign lobbying.
What?
Isn't that there's also a Leahy Act? Let me look it up.
Oh, for like FARA violators?
Yeah. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about the Russia story was like, now do Israel.
Oh, yeah. The Leahy law prohibits the U.S. Department of State or Department of Defense from providing military assistance or foreign security force units that violate human rights with impunity.
Yeah. What is a FARA violation? It's a Foreign Agent Registration Act.
Yeah, it's when you don't declare that you are lobbying for a foreign government. It's what Paul Manafort got nailed with.
Yeah, but if you're Israel, it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Then if you were to say, hold up, this seems weird that a foreign government has such a stranglehold in our Congress over lobbying. If you say that, then you're an anti-Semite.
If you think it's weird for a foreign government to individually pick out American college students and identify them and say for employers not to hire them because they are anti-Semitic, you in fact are the anti-Semitic one.
Yeah. Don't say that.
Don't say it. Don't think about it. If you see a headline about it, don't read it. Throw your computer out.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a risk with these things.
Don't do that. You're getting real anti-Semitic right now.
Yeah, don't even chance it. It's not worth it.
The annoying part, aside from obviously full, complete domination and total control at the behest of an apartheid state that is currently conducting a genocide, is also that, like, when you say this shit, like, there's literally Nazis who can get away with saying this shit as well. And they don't even give a fuck about, like, Israel murdering every Palestinian they can fucking find. But then they could just be like, oh, look, see, the Jews are controlling America.
Yeah,
You're the same fascist. There's no difference between a guy who is like posting those videos of like the Kahanis or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, oh, the Goyim are our cows, like they need to serve us. And the guy that's in the video, you're just the same guy.
Same person.
You're the same person.
Same ideology.
Yeah.
I've said it before, but like if I was a guy from one of the fucking Dakotas who had not ventured far outside of that territory and I just saw how the Israel lobby is treated, and I saw my representatives go up every year and they pledge allegiance to this one foreign country, and I see what a third rail this is to even talk about, and I see the social consequences and employment blacklisting of people done by a foreign government. What conclusion do you think I would come to were I just some guy from the Dakotas?
Yeah,
what do you
exactly
think? I have a pretty good idea of what I would think.
Well, we know what they think because they're saying it. It's everywhere now. They're like, well, what do you mean? Of course, Jews control the fucking media and every ounce of power that we have here.
Yeah, it would be impossible for someone to see all this and not even think that like a little bit.
Yeah, but that also then is beneficial for Israel.
Yeah.
Which is so shitty. It's beneficial because then Benjamin Netanyahu could be like, you see,
look at how safe for them. Yeah,
look at how anti-Semitic these guys are. We should kill them. Like it's great, and then that way you can continue the same cycle of just like having people that have no interest in Israel whatsoever be like, well, I guess those guys are anti-Semitic. Let me maybe we do need Israel.
Yeah,
it's a great never-ending cycle. Like it was already there. It was obviously always there. It's like there's that underlying sentiment that like most normal people will even like lightly lean into every now and then, but Israel literally pushes them off that cliff to be like fully diving in, especially every single time they say that like we're doing this for Judaism and that we are doing this for Jews and all Jews care about this. And if you were to say that that's not true, then you're anti-Semitic.
The biggest public event in the history of Israel was the public funeral for Ovadia, who was sort of like a chief religious figure among Sephardi Jews. And if you want to go insane, just look up some of the stuff he said. Everyone likes to make the joke about like crazy Salafist guys who live in London, right? Ovadia said things that like really put those things to shame, just with the roles slightly altered.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. There's God. It makes me feel insane though, like when I have friends who are tapped in and will just like immediately reflexively defend Israel. I'm just like, dude, what are you saying now? Like you grew up here, bro. You fucking don't give a shit about Israel. What the fuck are you saying?
I've like completely given up on anyone who is like fully with it at this point. I don't think there's anything you can do. I think that's someone who would have been a fucking concentration camp guard. I have like no interest in talking to anyone like that anymore. What is frustrating to me are people who like generally do know a lot of the bad shit and aren't necessarily like
what is it, Noah Breslau or whatever?
No,
the liberal
Zionist. Anyone specific, but just like the type of person who does know. There are people like this who like know how bad this is, and they want weapons shipments to be paused or hopefully stopped, but there's just like an extreme qualification they put on this where it's like, yeah, this is bad, but like it's weird if you care about this and you're not Jewish or Palestinian, or like just any of the qualifiers they put on it to make it not what it is, which is the most nihilistic, racial exterminationist government on the face of the planet. I don't know. It has been very revealing for a lot of people. It really shows what things are negotiable with some people.
Like what if you recognize the atrocities, like what is causing you to still hold out hope in any capacity that like this country that has been like an apartheid on a good day and a genocidal one every other day is going to somehow magically turn things around? Like you just don't believe that.
The liberal Zionists are a great example of crackpot realism.
Yeah,
what they say and how they say it. It takes the appearance of something that's well reasoned and adapted for the modern world we live in, but in actuality, they're more divorced from reality than even the most, psychotic rightists in Israel. The psychotic rightists know what country they live in. They know what country Israel will be for as long as it exists in this form. The liberal Zionist is significantly more delusional.
Yeah, but I just can't wrap my head around it. That's what I mean. It's like, I guess it's kind of like America.
Yeah, no,
like American liberals.
It's the same thing as what we were talking about with like the crackpot realist administrators of empire. The appearance of propriety and a relationship with reality. In actuality, a much more like nihilistic and insane racialized viewpoint.
It's like American liberals, but like at least in terms of the genocide ongoing in like Palestine in Gaza, there's like a separation there, right? This is like being an American liberal when like the indigenous genocide was happening, and being like, no, you don't understand. Like, we're just gonna do land acknowledgements later down the line, but like this is actually fine.
There's just like
there's not really like a modern equivalent that I can point to where there's like that level of closeness to the atrocities and the ongoing slaughter beyond like World War II. Literally, like that's.
There were people in Nazi Germany who were like, look, there has to be a better way to get rid of the Jews than this. Like the human mind has like endless potential to obfuscate and to distort things that you can see with your own eyes, to interpret reality in the most insane and baffling ways possible. And usually when someone is doing that, they're doing it from a standpoint of like tribalized racial superiority, whether they know it or not. That is the problem. I think that a lot of these people do not know that they think the same things as like Ovadia or the guys in that video. They feel the same way. They won't, God forbid, they say it because that's provincial,
like I'm sure they don't have like the
hick bullshit.
Well, I don't think they have like the like Jewish supremacy attitude in terms of like being above like Christian Westerners or whatever. But I think like they feel that way about Arabs being like wholesale barbaric.
I mean, it's complicated. I mean, who can get inside someone's head, right?
Yeah.
But I think with a lot of these cases, they think that, but they don't realize that they think that.
Maybe. I feel like it's...
I realize,
because everybody picks and chooses. Like Benjamin Franklin thought Germans were swarthy and beneath the like white Anglo-Saxon, but he made an exception for the French. Yeah. So that's how I see it, like where
it could be like tailored for like a type of American liberalism where like, I don't think I'm above.
Especially if you have ties, like especially if you're like an American conservative, as many like hyper reactionary Israelis are as well. Like they have dual citizenship, they live here as well.
Yeah.
They have fucking love Trump.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I saw this poll from Haaretz the other day that was like 75% of American Jews are voting for the Democratic Party. And Israel ranks as the 9th out of like 10 priorities they have in the top 10 priorities. And it's like, I don't think like the idea that like American Jews are just immediately going to magically not vote for the Democratic Party after consistently voting by 80% for the Democratic Party. Because of Kamala being like, we should just stop giving Israel weapons is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also like, one, it's not the top priority.
How many fucking Jews do people think there are?
That's what I was going to say. And where do they live? Like, what do you think? Like, California's going to turn red? Fucking, New York's going to turn red? Is that what or Florida's not going to turn blue anyway?
Yeah, it's the argument I hate the most when people are like, oh, she'd love to do that, but the electoral consequences. There are more, I guarantee, there are more furries that vote. They have a larger population in America.
Yeah. It's just,
I'm sorry, but it's true.
It's not like necessarily a very large and consequential voting block at all, but it doesn't even matter because it's not their top priority. It's insane. It's like, that's the liberal version of like, that's woke anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Jews are all of one mind. They just only care about Israel doing genocide and they will never vote for anything else.
American Jews are at an increasing rate like alienated and unfamiliar with where the average Israeli is at, which is a good thing. But
I don't know. I feel like if they were more familiar, they'd be fucking way more resentful.
Well, yeah.
Like if just, I mean, you even see it here, to be honest. Like, just talk to a dude who just came fresh back from fucking Israel, and you'll very quickly go, okay, I got what's going on here. There's like 95,000 Jews in PA. Maybe that's their logic. No, dog, that's not. The reason why I just told you what I just told you is that if you think, first of all, there are Jews in Pennsylvania in this chat that are literally single issue voters in the opposite direction. Okay, like you understand what I'm saying? Like, Jews are not of one mind on Israel to begin with, okay? There are literally a shit ton of Jews in this chat that are living in Pennsylvania right now who are either directly anti-Zionist or don't give a fuck about Israel. Okay, that's my point. They're gonna vote for the Democratic Party for a list of different like reasons.
Getting a Jewish for getting like, yeah, I don't know what the exact breakdown is of how Jewish voters split Democratic. I know it's huge, but changing that, it would be like getting Jews to not drive Volvos, or to be like, don't go to the doctor when you have a cold. It's not going to happen. Something crazy would have to happen.
Felix, you had a great take on Josh Shapiro today. Wait, what did Josh Shapiro do?
He said he just the usual, like, there needs to be a state where Israelis can feel safe, but Palestinians have rights.
What?
And it's like, you covered up a murder. You covered up an uncle crime.
There are 150,000 Muslims in PA and 185,000 Arabs. Yeah, that argument also fucking sucks because there are literal polls on it. There are literal polls on the subject matter. You understand that, right? Like, there are literal polls on this where it shows by like minimum 30%, people will be more enthusiastically voting for the Democratic Party if Kamala Harris ceased weapons transfers.
I don't get what Mehdi is saying here, because it's like, yeah, Shapiro said something bad.
I thought the vice president.
It's also exactly what Kamala says, and he agrees with. What's the fucking difference?
And Walz is not saying anything either. He's not the secret Somali I thought he was.
I thought the vice president had a great night. I thought she not only laid out her vision for what she wants to do in this Commonwealth and this country, but I thought what she also did was prosecute the case effectively against Donald Trump.
Also, he doesn't sound like Barack Obama.
He stopped doing it.
Have you noticed
going
that?
Crazy with that the week of this election.
Yeah.
He went even beyond. It was one of the most insane things I've seen like an adult man do.
Yeah. It's weird.
He was like,
show him to be the unhinged.
Religion is my life. Yeah,
that was.
I go to church and get right. What? What are you talking about?
I love that. I'm
Jewish
proud.
Josh?
I'm proud of my religion.
I talk to the preacher man to get right. What, Josh? What? What are you talking? What the fuck? So weird.
I'm proud of my faith.
He's just repeating stuff he saw in memes. Funeral food is so damn good, I'd be forgetting who died. Josh, what? What did you say?
Zoomers are gonna cancel him for doing AAVE. They're like, oh my god! Once they find out he's doing AAVE and he's inappropriate age gap relationship. Let's see what he's
be
saying.
The unhinged person that he is, peddling more conspiracy theories and bringing more chaos to this country. I thought she did an excellent job.
What do you think about her answer about Israel and the war in Gaza?
Look, I thought she was absolutely right to say Israel has the right to defend itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm shocked that you said that.
Amazing, Mr. Idea volunteer.
It was absolutely right that she said that.
Oh my fucking god.
It's so shit. Like, her statement is actually shockingly shit. And
she repeated the fucking.
She hasn't even changed it. Like, she's not even like tweaking it a little bit.
No,
like she's like, no, this is it. This is the best possible thing that we've come up with.
She's pretty much saying exactly what Biden said. Like, Biden also like said this bullshit where it's like, yeah, but they have to like pay attention to Palestinian lives or whatever.
Biden said kids are dying. Like, do you remember?
He hasn't even said that.
Yeah, Biden literally when they were like, Biden would on the one hand be like, I saw dead babies and their heads were being cut off after they were dead. I saw it. And then they would douse them in kerosene. And then that same fucking Biden would then turn around when protests were yelling at him and be like, oh, everybody calm down. Kids are dying. And it's like that's an acknowledgement that I have yet to see from Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Like, she talks about it like it's a fucking natural disaster. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And that, you know, she cares about the self-determination. That's got to be an Obama era.
Yeah, that's
she
Obama
dropped that
bullshit.
determination in there, like self-determination in there to shut everyone the fuck up that like was desperate to be like, oh, she's so different.
Yeah, that worked on everyone who was going to vote for her anyway and wanted to go like, oh, what a change. What a fucking sea change.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Laying that out was really
do you think that
effective.
she might change the weapons policy regarding to Israel?
She made very clear that Israel has the right to defend itself.
Yeah, don't worry.
No,
don't worry. Yeah, it's not.
There will be accountability, just no consequences.
Is Israel that is committing violent mass murder and violently, illegally preventing Palestine's right to exist? How come Israelis are never asked to make clear that violence has no part in their relationship with Palestinians and that Palestine has a right to exist? Yeah.
They don't even didn't get asked to stop raping them. So, you know.
Yeah. They literally did rape riots, man. They did pro-rape riots, and the main rapist is now like a television star, okay?
They briefly tried to make rape illegal because even they were like, holy shit, this looks really bad.
No, it was for complementarity. I think I 100% believe, 100% without a doubt, that they did that because the ICC is like actively working on the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were like, we at least have to like make an arrest to make it look like we were taking this seriously, and they couldn't even hold it together for that.
Yeah, no conversation, dude. Like, role reversal in this circumstance, like, you're hearing about it from today. Like, there is not a single like overt pro-rape stance that has come out from like the fucking Hamas side. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, not a single one. As a matter of fact, there are numerous instances where they just like lied and straight up were saying like, no, there's mass rapes happening. Hamas is actually ready to do mass rapes. Israeli maternal units are getting ready to receive the hostages that will have been raped by Hamas militants. Like, they just said that over and over again to do pro-genocide propaganda. Meanwhile, Israel is straight up doing rape parades, dude. It is fucking crazy.
They stormed government buildings with automatic weapons because they do not think it is theologically possible for a Jewish Israeli to rape a non-Jew.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, all I do know is that this can't continue. Like, it will inevitably fall by the weight of its own contradictions. Like, there's just not going to happen.
Yeah. How it happens and the unintended consequences of that are to be determined, however.
Yeah. It's unimaginable. So many similarities. Rachel Corrie's parents call for the inquiry of death into Eichner. It's just not going to happen. I told you guys this, and obviously this breaks my heart. But I told you this, and I told you that it was not going to happen because I told you what they did with Shireen Abu Akleh. They did the exact same fucking shit. Oh, it was an accident. Oh, it's just
the same accidental thing that keeps happening. That's happened every fucking year, multiple times a fucking year.
Yeah. And also there's, I feel like there's just a complete blackout in terms of like major protests happening, major pro-Palestinian protests happening as well. Schools have completely packed up any kind of fucking anti-Israeli sentiment. They're like aggressively pursuing anti-protest measures. If students were to even remotely try and criticize Israel, it's totally fucked up, and the media rarely is covering it. They never talk about it.
Yeah, it's completely left.
Like, Israel blew up another fucking humanitarian area like 2 nights ago.
They rushed all these people into another refugee camp and dropped bunker busters on it, leaving craters several meters into the ground.
Yeah, but hey, listen, if Trump gets elected, the craters will happen more.
Yeah, it's 6 inches deeper. They'll use a 3,000 pound bomb.
And then the fucking cynical liberals who have been championing this fucking genocide every step of the way will be like, see, you did this. Now they're invading the West Bank. And it's like, okay, if the Democrats won, then they would invade the West Bank 4 years after the fact, and the Democrats would champion it. Good job.
Trump's signature policy on Israel, the embassy in Jerusalem, Hillary Clinton said that she wanted to do that in 1998. You know? Like,
yeah, I still don't think
there are differences in the parties.
To be fair, I still don't think Hillary Clinton would have done that because I think that she is more of a competent State Department head than like she was violent, she was bloodthirsty, but I think like there are certain mechanisms that she would not have disrupted and would have continued because that was a plan set in motion since the 90s that they never acted on. They would just pass the buck down over and over and over again. Like, I think Trump unwound all of that. He was like, oh, Sheldon Adelson gave me a fucking $100 million. Of course I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Biden outraged by U.S. activist death. Israel kills in dozens.
I'm sure he's fucking furious.
Yeah. Yeah, he was so outraged that he fucking described her assassination in like Looney Tunes style, that a bullet fucking ricocheted off of the dirt and struck her in the head.
Just the most unlucky army in the world, apparently.
Yeah.
They can't stop accidentally doing this.
Yeah. With also like no repercussions anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't even get why they're fucking lying about this.
Yeah,
nothing they can do will alienate Harris or Biden or Trump for that matter. Why even fucking bother?
Yeah, I mean, we saw, if you guys want to see what, like, remember when Biden was going to do a red line in Rafah and all the fucking Twitter libs that are like super pro Biden, that were Biden dead enders, did this thing where they were talking about how, like, see, Biden is putting a red line. Biden is putting a red line in Rafah. This is Biden's red line in Rafah, okay? Here is Biden's red line before Biden's red line, after Biden's red line. Look at that.
But he was furious.
But he was really mad. So there's that, you know, just before, after. That's Biden's red line. Yeah. But Matt Miller told me it was a large scale attack. This was a safe zone. Remember that. It's actually kind of crazy that like people still act like they're not doing a genocide. It like kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's no end to what can be rationalized or obfuscated.